And now to our first conversation. Well, the Nigerian telecom sector generated the lowest amount of capital investment in 2021 in almost 10 years. It also represents a consistent decline since 2020. To discuss this and other issues in the sector, we have Jibola Olude, Executive Secretary ATCON, join us on the program. That's Association of Telecom Companies of Nigeria. Good morning. Great to have you on the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
Great to have you join us. Well, recently we've seen a rise, in cost of energy, especially with, diesel in Nigeria. Do you think this would, obviously this would impact, telecom services in the country? We've seen, other sectors impacted, but should we be expecting, increase in tariffs at this point?
Yes, thank you very much. The price of diesel is central to the telecommunications sector, and you will agree with me that there has been a general increase in the price of diesel, and these have direct effects on the cost of telephone. For instance, you will agree with me that power in Nigeria is not reliable, is unstable, so we depend more on diesel to be able to power all our base stations across the country. So soonest we should expect an upward review, in the price of telecommunication service in Nigeria.
Yeah, we did see that news that broke yesterday about one of the groups in the telecom industry talking about a proposal to actually hike tariffs. But by how much do you think these tariffs could go up for?
Okay, based on the proposal that I saw or that I read yesterday, is actually 40%, and you will agree with me that it's long overdue. It has been long that telecommunication sector review their tariff rates in Nigeria, and a whole lot of things have happened. For instance, when you look at the right of way, which is supposed to be 145 naira per linear meter, some states charge as much as 1,002, and some states charge 800 naira. And you will agree with me that telecommunication sector has become a service that both the rich and the poor want to consume. But the environment is not that enabling because of the issue of right of way, multiplication, foreign estate, vandalization of our telecom infrastructure. So it is long overdue, and I think government should listen to them.
Right, quite interesting, because this has been described as the year of the squeeze. We've seen household incomes, squeezed at this point, and this is going to be more, if this actually happens. But looking at the recent report, investment in Nigeria's telecom sector has, recorded a consistent decline in 10 years. What do you think is stoking this?
Okay, many things are responsible for the decrease you see, in capital importation to the sector, or what we call FDI. One of them is an investor wants to put his money, in a sector that is stable. You will agree with me that the policy around the telecom sector is not favorable to the sector, in terms of federal government asking state government to charge 145 naira per linear meter, and some states refused to implement that. Instead, they implement what they feel the price should be. That's one of the reasons why people don't want to put their money in the sector. For instance, the fund that's supposed to go into improving the sector is being, a large chunk of it is being used to pay right of way. So when you look at all these factors, investors are not really happy to put their money into the sector again. And we just have to work towards enabling the environment so that more capital importation can come to the sector.
But you know, do you see this trend actually continuing at this point? Because it's quite interesting, because there's a lot of demand, you know, for telecom services in the country, and you know, consumption levels of data, internet, financial transactions are increasingly mounting, you know, pressure on telecom infrastructure. So that should, you know, bring some investment, you know. But do you think the infrastructure present, you know, at this point is sustainable to match the demand?
Really, with the new broadband target, which is 70%, we have a lot of infrastructure deficit, you know, in the sector. And normally, we should be able to attract more money. But, you know, when you consider issues like right-of-way multiplication, vandalization of telecom equipment, you know, the investor will think twice before, you know, he put his money in that sector. So what I would say is that, and telecom has become inelastic demand, especially when we had COVID. Everybody depend on telecommunication infrastructure to communicate, to do business. And majority of state governments are not looking at that side, right? And we have many times educate them on the need to see telecom as a sector that can jumpstart, right, development in their state. But instead of allowing telecommunication, you know, to thrive in their various states, they keep piling costs, you know, upon cost upon the sector. So I would say that the level of infrastructure we have in Nigeria is not adequate. We need more, and for us to have more, the state governments need to buy into telecommunication initiative and development.
Right, and looking at the, you know, the current infrastructure, we know security is another issue, securing, you know, most of these telecom infrastructure. But what conversations, you know, are being had, you know, regarding securing, you know, the present infrastructure available?
Okay, we've had a number of conversations with government in respect of securing a telecom infrastructure. As we speak, we have a bill which is to treat telecom infrastructure as a critical national infrastructure. But but up to today, that has not been done, right? That has not been done. So we have to provide security for the base station, right, by ourselves. And you know, when you can put all these costs together, you will agree with me that it will necessitate, you know, hike in the price of a telecom tariff in Nigeria.
Right, and we're already seeing those proposals flying around. But well, the 5G spectrum in Nigeria, I know those two big companies got the license, and they're expected to on board, you know, later this year. But what can we expect? You know, what kind of impact can we expect, you know, with this once the 5G hits the market later this year?
Okay, 5G is really going to impact Nigeria positively, because we have a lot of things attached to, you know, technology when you talk about Internet of Things and what have you. So MAFAB and MTN won the license, and they are expected to roll out service from August, and I know that they are doing their housekeeping in order to meet the time for rollout in August.
Right, and you know, there's always been this talk and debate, you know, about 5G, if it's good or, you know, not good. But for you, is it a welcome idea to have the 5G deployed?
First and foremost, 5G is not harmful. 5G is going to improve our well-being in Nigeria. Nigeria is not the first country where 5G will be deployed. And I can tell you that 5G is really going to, you know, promote our well-being.
Right, and you know, we've been talking about investment, you know, in the telecom sector. Going forward, do you see, some opportunities, coming up? What kind of opportunities are coming up, at this point, in the telecoms sector that would bring or actually attract, investors?
Okay. Well, I mean, for further investment to come into the sector, some of the bottlenecks need to be removed. Part of the bottleneck that needs to be removed is right of way, multiple taxation. When you have multiplicity of agencies trying to control the sector that is on exclusive list of the federal government. So we just have to remove all these bottleneck, and these are main man challenges which I think can be removed.
And well, I know other companies, are coming up, at this point and, trying to bring solutions to, try and take advantage of the demand we have, in this sector. What interesting innovations do you see coming up in the sector?
Okay, part of the innovation that will come up in the sector will be enabled by IoT, Internet of Things, whereby your key, right? I mean, you can actually control your car right inside of your room, whereby when you are coming in, you don't need security to open your door for you. That can be done via technology. So a lot of opportunities are around, and for us to have Internet of Things, right, we need 5G to be in place.
Right, and well, it's still, early times, for this sector, and there's a lot, to on board. There's perhaps other rural areas that need to be catered to. What plans are there, to increase the penetration, the internet penetration in the country?
Okay, for your information, NCC have licensed some infracos to go to rural area to provide internet for them, and I know that NCC is doing a lot to ensure that rural telephony is a reality in Nigeria.
Quite interesting, and I want to get your quick outlook, for this sector. It's a very important sector to any economy. How do you see Nigerian sector in the, say, next 5 years?
Okay, what I can tell you is that the state government have a role to play in improving broadband penetration in their various states. If the issue of right of way is removed, I'm telling you that we will experience development both in the urban and in the rural area. Right of way is a big issue, and my prayer is that right of way will become a thing of the past.
Right. Well, we'll keep tracking.
State government can buy into if state government can buy into federal government plan, to improve broadband penetration.
Right. Well, there's still so much demand in that sector, and a lot of services still need to come up, and innovations to come up in that sector to, help increase penetration in the country. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the program, Mr. Ajibola Olude, Executive Secretary at ATCON. It was great having you on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
All right. So after the break, Commodities Market Update is next. Do stay with us. This is Business Morning.